We often associate post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD with crime or its immediate aftermath. Less acknowledged, but not less impactful, the effect PTSD can have on those who serve on juries for crimes of a particularly brutal nature. Some former jurors who served on traumatic trials say they're leaving with a health condition they didn't sign up for. Mark Farron says he was diagnosed with PTSD after serving on a 2014 murder trial.
I didn't want to communicate with people. I didn't want to socialize. I didn't want to go out. I used to be a pretty active and engaging person. That person just evaporated.
Farron believes it's not something a juror should walk away with for performing a civic duty.
When I started to do some research and I started to hear and read stories in the media about jurors from significant trials who were feeling this too. And I kept thinking to myself, this is wrong. Something needs to change here.
Symptoms of PTSD include re-experiencing symptoms of trauma. So for example, distressing, intrusive memories of the traumatic event, psychological distress and physiological reactions following the reminders of the traumatic event, flashbacks or nightmares.
Depending on the case, jurors may have to watch graphic evidence.
People who provide jury duty are exposed, can be exposed to heightened stress or psychological distress or emotional difficulties, such as depressed mood, anxiety, feelings of anger, mood irritability.
In court, there had been complete silence as Bernardo stood and the jury foreman gave the verdict on the 9 charges. 9 times he said clearly and firmly, guilty.
Tina Danzer was a juror on the Paul Bernardo trial in 1995. During the trial, Danzer says they were witness to gruesome evidence.
There was video evidence of the murdered girls being raped and tortured. And there wasn't just one video, there was numerous videos. And of course, evidence had to be watched.
Because of this, the judge ordered psychological assistance be provided. Danzer says that, along with the support of her husband, helped her move on.
So really, he just did take care of me, and it was probably 6 months before one night my husband asked my permission if he could touch me and hold me. And maybe there's a lot of marriages that wouldn't survive that. And he's just an amazing man for having taken care of me.
What Danzer later found out was that professional support provided to her by the judge was not common practice. Farron's story is different. He had to find help on his own.
It's a patchwork of assistance to jurors post-trial. And I was also angry that this was happening to jurors, other jurors. And I knew that it was still going, I knew it was going on.
The supports provided for jurors vary across Canada. BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Ontario, PEI, Yukon Territory, and Newfoundland and Labrador provide at least 4 counseling sessions. Supports in Manitoba and the Northwest Territories offer 1 to 2 sessions at minimum. Nova Scotia helps jurors access counseling and assists financially when a person does not have private insurance. New Brunswick has no limit to how many sessions jurors can have, while Quebec can help jurors pay for psychological treatment, but the court sheriff must request it from the trial judge. And Nunavut only provides mental health services through its health department. Despite inconsistencies across Canada, the federal government is looking into how uniform support can be made. Kamkar says each person's needs are different.
What's very important is that when the symptoms continue and the functioning is impaired, for a person to have access to continued care to ensure quality of life and well-being.
And jurors like Danzer are expecting more.
If you are expecting me as a citizen to do my duty and sit on a jury, you as a country need to do your duty to make sure that I'm not doing it at the detriment of my own mental health.